Okay. Morning, everyone. This meeting is called to order at 10 o'clock. I will read the land acknowledgement. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hadiwendorong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest? Nope. Then moving on to the adoption of the agenda, can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Ray has moved. Dave has seconded. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No, then that is carried. Adoption of the minutes of our last meeting on July 29th. Can I have a mover and seconder for that, please? Mary has moved. Jonathan has seconded. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That is carried as well. Moving on to correspondence. There are a bunch of correspondence items this time, and some of them are actually great. At their meeting on September 9th, 2025, Council passed Memorandum CLK-C25-2025 regarding heritage property insurance rates resolution support. I'm not sure whether you read the paperwork that Justin sent along with the agenda, but you might have heard in the news about a case in Kingston where a recently designated property was saddled with a insurance bill 10 times as high as their previous premiums. That led to the owner of the property to apply to Kingston City Council to appeal the designation, because obviously, you know, if your insurance rates all of a sudden go up to $20,000 a year, that is not feasible for most people. Kingston has since made an appeal, or is planning to make an appeal to the Ontario government to find solutions and to rein in insurance companies to not basically take advantage of a property being designated, and therefore you can raise insurance rates. There's absolutely no reason why your insurance rates should go up simply because the property is designated. Nothing changed about the value of the property or its longevity or its upkeep. It's exactly the same as it was before. It now carries a heritage designation. That does not mean it now warrants a higher insurance policy. We all know that some insurance companies won't insure heritage buildings, or they will ask much higher rates, or they will post much higher rates. I know we have had that problem. I know of some others who had to go through that. We do point that out, that does happen. However, according to the Heritage Act, there's no reason why that should happen. Any damage to a heritage building through a natural disaster or whatever could cause you to legitimately claim house insurance is not, the owners are not obligated to actually replace things that are destroyed through those kind of events. So there's also then no reason for the insurance company to raise rates because the property is now designated. Heritage assets lost through accidents, through storms, through fires, whatever, you do not have to replace exactly as they were. All right, so Other municipalities have followed Kingston in the support of this resolution. And so in the last council meeting, Thorold did as well. So that is great news. Hopefully something will come of it, and insurance companies will see that insuring a heritage building does not carry greater risk than insuring any other kind of building. Any comments? No? Okay. Anything? Oh, yes, Nick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I was just going to mention we do run into this every now and then on Heritage Conservation District projects at work, and it is something that does come up from time to time. There has been some efforts through the National Trust, formerly Heritage Canada, to put together a bit of a working group so that there's a consistent message about insurance, because often it comes with just a misunderstanding of what's required in the event of a loss of the property by the insurer. So sometimes it does take some time to, just make sure they understand that it is really no different, as you said, than any other property. It just happens to have a heritage designation now. So it sounds like there's certainly some more work to be done. And I think maybe if, as you said, many municipalities are starting to adopt something similar, maybe it'll help to bring the issue front and center. So
great. Thank you very much. Also good to know that the National Trust is taking initiatives as well. That's great news.
Yeah. It's a slow process, but
yeah,
hopefully we'll get there.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 2 on the correspondence list, Rural Ontario Development Grant Application. At their meeting on September 9th, 2025, Council passed report PWCS 43-2025 regarding the ROD grant application. There were, again, the paperwork was included in the agenda. What it was about is about properties here in Thorold. The application was made for 3 different properties, but what was considered by the institution giving out the grant, an ideal candidate for this grant is Chestnut Hall. I mean, of course, that is fantastic news. Chestnut Hall has been falling to pieces for years. And it's a constant topic with the Heritage Committee: when is something done about Chestnut Hall? It's an important historic building here in Thorold. It's also a very substantial stone building incorporating masses of carbon which should never end up in landfill. So everything about this building warrants its preservation. It's also connected to our library, which of course makes it even more important because there's institutional use here that it can fulfill. So it's great news. So what Council approved for now is for the grant application to go forward. So let's all keep our fingers crossed that the money will be granted and that the city then approves to go ahead with the restoration. The plan of public services for the first stage of the restoration is the exterior, to tighten up the building, to make it energy efficient, and also to make sure that the exterior elements don't deteriorate any further. This would include the restoration of the original wood windows, including reglazing, plus all exterior woodwork. So that's fantastic news. I didn't hope for anything as great as that, but that's the plan. Let's hope it can go ahead, maybe even next year. Then the next plan will be once it's tightened up on the exterior, there might be another stage where some masonry is repointed just to make sure everything is in good order, even though the stonework is in fairly good shape. But just to make sure everything on the exterior is done before then the third stage comes to renovate the interior to make it actually usable for various institutional uses, whether it be the library, the museum or parts of City Hall or whatever. That building should be used and it should be preserved. So this is a great first step. Any comments? No? Then we'll move on to the next item. Old Beaver Dams or Smith Cemetery. Over the years, people have mentioned to me that there's still no fence around it. It's basically open to the new subdivision that was built around it. And the other day when I was meeting Sarah, or maybe we were even driving by, she mentioned it again to me. There's still no barrier to set the cemetery apart from the rest of this new community. I then got in touch with Justin just to find out who I should approach. Didn't quite know whether it was a planning item or one for public services. I then approached both. They both answered, and the heritage impact assessment at the time was pulled, and yes, there were recommendations that low hedging or low fencing in certain areas should be put around the cemetery. Obviously, we don't want a high board fence or anything like that. Even worse would be a chain link fence, so it has to be suitable for the location. We still want to see that the cemetery is there. But first of all, out of respect to the fact that this is a cemetery, and secondly, it is an important historic site, one of the oldest cemeteries in Thorold. The only one that's older might be the Karl-Meisner Bald Cemetery, but the oldest headstone is actually, I think, in this one. It dates back to 1805 or something. So they're looking into how to implement the recommendations given at the time, and also to find out whether this is the responsibility of the city or the builder. I would imagine it was the responsibility of the builder, but they will get in touch once they know more, and then we go from there. But hopefully this will kickstart for this cemetery to finally get a nice border around it. Any comments? No? Okay. Then we have one more correspondence item. Justin?
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. So at their meeting on September 9th, 2025, Council passed report CLK 11-2025 regarding mandatory city website updates. And part of this plan to have the current heritage website that is separated from the city website to be finally integrated into the city website, which has been the plan all along.
Okay. Do we need a motion? No. I mean, this has been on the table actually for years. We've known about this, that this would happen. I actually keep expecting it every year, and it hasn't happened yet. But I think everything will be a lot more efficient and easier if our website is integrated into the city website instead of separate. Most likely, some of the info about the heritage buildings will be taken over just as they are. The city might have different ways to access things and will want to keep it all the same, and I'm sure that will be all made public when the time comes. All right, any comments? Yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to suggest that we get in touch with Mark, who currently looks after the website, just to inform him that this will be happening perhaps in the near future.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Okay, then moving on to financial. Before I get to invoices, just a quick recap about our budget. In the last meeting, you might remember I talked about having a meeting with planning about rewording our budget requests to allow for greater flexibility of our expenses. It was then suggested that I submit a reworked budget for this year. which I did. I also added a budget for next year right away. It's only half a year, and it's always better to do this early. At first, we thought this might have to go to council to be approved. However, when planning submitted it to finance, they said for relatively small amounts, as our budget, the CAO can make the decision by himself. And good news, the CAO approved the budget, the modified budget for this year. Any comments with regards to the budget? No? Okay, then moving on to invoices for payment. There finally are some. I submitted 2 packages of invoices. The first one was for 3 history plaques, 2 of them replacements for the Carter Holland House and the Pew House, and 1 new one to be applied to one of our stock stands to be erected in front of 8 Carlton Street, the former L.G. Lorriman School, and now housing the 50+ Center and the city's building and development services. The second invoice, that was just a small invoice. The second invoice was for 6 of our stainless steel stands. 4 of them are actually already spoken for future designations, 2 of them for the St. John's site, and 2 of them maybe next year if things go speedily for the Lakeview Cemetery. The other 2 are to replenish our stock. And also, again, 3 history plaques. 2 of them, again, replacements. When I was at Chestnut Hall to look at the exterior, I saw that their sign is very faded, so I ordered a replacement for that. And also for the Carol Tracy House, which was pointed out by Wynne in the last meeting that it needed replacement. And again, 1 new plaque, which has already been applied to one of our stands, and this will be installed at the Karl Meisner Bald Cemetery, where the original bronze designation plaque was stolen a couple of years ago. We then, as you might remember, decided in a meeting we will not replace the bronze plaque because the site is out of the way and it might just be stolen again. So we decided to put one of our history plaques up instead. It is not installed yet because we will go there together with Tom to look at the site and choose an ideal spot. And once we've done that, we'll get in touch with Steve Santo and his team to arrange to have it installed before the winter. Any comments regarding invoicing? No? Then we move on to ongoing business. Here we come to the installation of history plaques for designated properties and plaque replacements. I understand that the Carter Holland and the Pew House plaques have been installed. The other 2 replacements for Chestnut Hall and the Carol Tracy House might be installed by now too. Greg at McGee informed me that they were done, and he was going to install them within a week, so that might be done by now too. The new plaque for 8 Carlton Street has been installed on Carlton Street in the center of the building, so easily visible from the sidewalk. And we also had a plaque still sitting in storage, actually for about a year or more, for Trinity United Church. This has been installed on Pine Street as well now. By the way, on that note, Trinity United Church is now owned by a charitable organization, and they will have their grand opening, I think, on November 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, we have another, it's in November, in early November. I will let you know exactly when, or I even send out an email. In our next meeting, I will bring that up again when exactly it is. So anybody who would like to come and see one of our most important heritage buildings, applied to a new purpose, you're invited to be part of that grand opening. Any comments? No? Okay. Heritage permit status update. Nick, any news?
I do have some news. I've been working on looking at examples from other municipalities. Got some great information from Grimsby related to their program and resources they provide people. So working on a recommendation to bring forward to a future meeting. Hoping next meeting, but we'll have to see if we can get stuff all put together by then. But things are in progress.
Okay, great. That's great to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? No? Then moving on to overdue Heritage Awards. The Heritage Award for Andre Wagner and Vicky Gale. It's old, about 5 years old, hasn't been given out yet. That was the second one besides Bob Liddicoat and Kathy Peltier. Andre and Vicky do not live in Thorold yet. They intend to move here once Vicky retires. They own a heritage building here, though, and they basically rescued and renovated it. It's rented out right now. That's what the award will be for. And the award will be given out on October 7th in council. Is there anything else I have to announce about that, Justin? I don't think so. I just have to get in touch with Nicholas, yeah. All right. Yes, that was that, so that will finally be finalized. Moving on to new business, St. John's Heritage Site designation. The report, Sarah tells me, is going well, but it is a huge undertaking. There's a lot of history there. She got some fantastic information from Brock, and she also thinks she might approach UFT as well, because they apparently have some documents on the site as well. She thinks that the report will be done this month. No, we're at the end of September, by the end of October. So hopefully in time for our next meeting. It will then be forwarded to the NPCA's legal team for them to go over and make any corrections to the wording of the recommendations, so that they are happy with what the regulations for the upkeep of the place will be before we can pass notice of intent to designate early next year. In any comments regarding St. John's? No? Okay. Moving on to Old Lakeview, I know we're jumping the gun a little bit on that site. We cannot pass notice of intent with that site until the site is formally returned to the city of Thorold. It right now still belongs to Transport Canada, but the process is underway. It just needs to go through all these stages in order to be finalized. I am told, though, by Public Services that everybody's 99% sure that it will go ahead. We had we had a motion in the last meeting to ask for permission to have a report, a cultural heritage report written on this property with intent of future designation. I have put that into our budget requests for this year, and it was approved. So the report on the cemetery will be written this year. And it is important anyway, whatever happens to the site. It's extremely important historically. Some of our oldest families are buried in that site. And the fact alone that it is actually a relocation of two older cemeteries that needed to be moved because of the construction of the fourth Welland Canal, that alone makes it rather unique as a historic site. So good news there, that will go ahead. As soon as Sarah is done with the report on St. John's, she will start on this one. Any comments? No? Okay, then moving on to work plan. There's not that much. Oh, yes, designation priorities. There aren't any right now because we're dealing with our designation projects right now, unless anyone knows of a property where the owners are favorable in favor of designation. Of course, we would like to know and pursue that right away while the iron is hot. So those are always our priorities, obviously. So anybody who is also listening into this meeting, if you think you have a home that is worthy of designation, please approach us. We would be happy to assist you. Moving on to events and other educational projects. Our Heritage Information Fair is set, the date for that is set for March 28th, it's a Saturday, from 1 till 3 in the afternoon. I was at first thinking we'd do a Friday night. The mayor actually suggested that these kind of events usually take place on a Saturday. People are used to that, so I listened to that, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, the garden center events or other affairs like that often happen on a Saturday afternoon. So we'll go for that. We'll go with that for now. Since it's on a Saturday, we will have to pay the custodian fee, but all other rental fees were very graciously waived for our event by the Senior Plus Center. Oh, that's where it will take place, at the Senior Plus Center on 8 Carlton Street. So it's a great space. They will provide us with a projector and so a means to have a slideshow. There will be nibbles and coffee and tea, and it will be a bit of a social, because people are more likely to come if you know, it's not just an info event, but also an event where you can just chat about these things. There will be information, though. As I said in the last meeting, I went to this info evening at the that Pelham organized. They had a video that was done by one of their summer students about Pelham history, which of course was fantastic. We won't have that, but when will it maybe be possible to have a great slideshow about Thorold history, its heritage assets, and just generally things that can encourage people to, you know, support our cause. Great. And for this event, I would like through maybe post it publicly through the city's website so anybody can come, but I would also like to send letters to all owners of buildings of that are either designated, of course in that case it will be preaching to the choir, those people's places are already designated, but also all historic buildings that are not designated yet. When you formed a working group together with Eva and Sarah a few years ago, and you put together a list of non-designated historic sites. Do you still have that list?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think so. I'll just need to dig it up and find where it is. If I don't have the one I'm thinking of, I'll at least have versions that have been circulated through email, but I'll see if I have the most up-to-date one. But either way, there's something. I'll dig it up.
Yeah. Okay, there's no huge rush with that. I'm going to see Sarah sometime this week as well, so I'm going to ask her too, so she might have it. I'll let you know if that's the case. And yeah, I know you have a rather important event in the very near future, so you don't need to dig that out before then. It's fine sometime early in, next year. The event is at the end of March, so these letters don't have, it's much better if these letters go out closer to when the event actually takes place. All right. Then maybe if everybody can put on their thinking cap for the next meeting, what we can talk about at that event. I'll get a presentation together, of course, but if you have any input, please let me know, and we can add that to what we want to tell people. Okay, any comments? No? Okay, then moving on to market days, just a recap. We had a table at the last market event on September, when was that? September 13th. It was a Saturday. So Heritage was there. It wasn't obviously very busy for Heritage. People were there for Taylor Swift. We just want to make sure that we are visible. Much more important events are this one that we're looking forward to in March, where we can actually, bring our concerns about preservation, both of our architectural and our natural heritage, to the public. Remembrance Day acknowledgement, as we had decided before, we will be laying a wreath on Remembrance Day, just to acknowledge that part of our history and also honor those who have died in the service of this country. Any comments? No? Then moving on to a heritage newsletter. This is actually the idea of Councillor O'Hare. Do you want to just say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of words, because it's just early stages now, but I just thought it would be probably beneficial to create a pool of emails of people who are interested in heritage, and we have a lot of positive stories to tell and share. And this would be one way of reaching out to residents of Thorold. So this is something that perhaps we'll start to form a working committee on, or just gather some ideas for next heritage meeting.
Yeah. Justin?
Yeah, thank you. Through you, in anticipation of this, I talked to Natalie. She said it might be possible to add a heritage section in our current newsletter.
Oh, great.
If you want to add something. They do once a month,
Yeah.
so it would just be, one is to keep up with it,
Yeah,
to make
no,
sure it's
that's
in.
perfect.
But talk with her and work out
Yeah.
any details and see if it's possible and so forth, but
Yeah.
she's open to the idea.
No, that would be the most perfect scenario. Yeah, because then it's basically on the city's website. Yeah, what could be better? Yeah, we'll talk to Natalie and see whether anything can be done with regards to that. On that note, one of the things I just wanted to mention, we don't have a newsletter yet. Some of you might know Leslie and Alan Daniels. They own a historic home on Ormond Street. It's not designated, but its exterior is pretty original, with wood siding and the original windows and door openings and everything. And Alan actually, over the years, they have been there for decades, has always replaced any rotten timber on the exterior cladding himself. He is going through the process of just doing that again. And he said sometime this week, he's working on the back and sides right now, but sometime this week the front boards will be replaced. And if anybody wants to drop by and look at the interior structure of a historic building, which is quite a bit more substantial than a new build, there welcome to stop by and look what they're doing. He's not doing everything himself anymore. He says, he's getting on, so he has a helper, but I've seen what they did on the site, did a really nice job, and it really looks good. I think the house, according to Sarah, was somehow connected to the Welland Canal. I'm not sure whether it was a lockmaster's house or something else. Our lockmaster's houses are actually in different spots, but it is somebody also, it might have been a former owner who thought it might have been the station master's house, but it's much older than the railway. It's probably from the first half of the 19th century. So maybe it became a station master's house later, but originally it was probably something else. I have to ask Sarah again what the original purpose was, unless somebody else knows who is here. But yeah, yeah, Tom unfortunately can't be here today. Any comments? Yes, Mary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just wondering if you might repeat the address of that house where we're going to pop by and watch them.
It's 46 Ormond Street South. You can go by any time. If you will see from the front whether he's working on it. Don't go on the property, just look at it from the sidewalk. Yeah. Okay. And if Alan and his helper are there, then his helper's name is Brandon. Then I'm sure you can chat to them. He loves to chat about it. So if he knows you're from the Heritage Committee, I'm sure he'll be happy to, talk. Okay, and the next two items on this work plan, the possible future annual Heritage Day and the history information plaques for significant sites around town. I haven't forgotten about these. I think these would be wonderful things to have in the future, but we're probably looking at the next council term to address these. Next year will be only half a year. It's not in our budget, and as Councillor O'Hare once before pointed out, a future annual Heritage Celebration Day would be great to actually locate in our future museum, so that doesn't exist yet. So we'll defer those two items to the outstanding items list until such a time as they become current items. Okay, everybody in favor of that? Okay, all right. Then we move on to outstanding items. Any comments from anyone? Yes?
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Just quickly, I'm going to mention two things. One was the cleanup at Beaver Dams Church was a great success again on Saturday, and a shout out to the Flying Dragons, Thorold Flying Dragons, who always volunteer and come out and participate in prepping the property for a successful Applefest event. Applefest is occurring this Saturday?
This coming Saturday, yes.
Yep. And that's at Beaver Dams Church, and there'll be a couple of vendors. Of course, there's pies. Some will be on site to be purchased if you're interested in purchasing apple pies.
Or apples.
Or apples, yes, thank you. So it's always a great fun event. Come on out and see the latest developments and changes that have been made at Beaver Dams Church.
Any other comments? Yes, Linda?
I believe, too, they're planning an On Points concert. They're planning 2 of them, and that's in October, at the beginning of October. And the tickets, I don't know what the price is. I'll find out tomorrow night, probably. But you can probably buy them. They're not that costly. You can probably buy them at Princery.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else? Nope. Then let's move on to round table. First of all, I'd like to thank Steve Santo and his team for the installation of the plaques in front of 8 Carlton Street and Trinity United Church. I forgot to do that earlier. Thank you very much for getting that done. Then, secondly, I've had another email from Janet Balkwell about the painting and the George VI coronation medal or award that she wants to donate to Thorold to be displayed in LG Lorman School, former LG Lorman School. So I'm probably meeting her in the next month or so about these items, and then we can see where we in the building we will install them. That's incredibly touching and generous of her to let us have those. The painting, just to refresh your memory, was painted by L.G. Lorman, and it's a really nice Scottish scene. The person it was given to was Janet's aunt, Leda McBride, obviously Scottish, and maybe that's why he painted this scene of Loch Lomond for her. Leda McBride herself was a teacher and also principal at L.G. Lorman School for 30 years. As was L.G. Lorman himself. That's why the school is named after him, or was named after him when it was still a school. Lastly, a couple of years ago, Pamela Mintz passed away. She was a huge power to be reckoned with for the conservation of heritage in Niagara and specifically in Thorold. She's a recipient of the Order of Canada for her achievements. And we had brought it up once before that maybe there could be an acknowledgement plaque or maybe a collage of her awards with her picture, maybe being awarded the Order of Canada to be displayed in City Hall. I think she is a very important Thorold citizen. Her son would like to keep her Order of Canada for the family, which is understandable, but maybe we can approach council about allowing an acknowledgement of Pamela's achievements to be displayed publicly. I never had the pleasure to meet her, but she was a power to be reckoned with. Linda and Ray, you probably remember her, I imagine. And so with your consent, I would like to maybe get something together, how this could look like. It doesn't have to be big, but then we could maybe approach council to display this somewhere in City Hall. I remember our council representative at the time also suggested maybe there should be a wall for generally important Thorold residents who have passed away to be commemorated that way. Do you still agree with that, Councillor?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. All right, so now we go around the table. I start with you, Mary, and go around clockwise. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay. Dave?
Nothing to add at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was a very full agenda today and a lot of interesting positive things, so thanks for that, and nothing else to add at this time.
Okay, thank you. Wynne?
Nothing for me, Madam Chair.
Okay, thanks. Nick?
Nothing here either. Thanks.
Thank you. Linda?
Nothing at this time.
Ray?
Very good meeting. Quick. Now I can go and have lunch before my first two classes of the day.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you both. Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to mention to everyone that we lost a very great supporter of history and heritage in Niagara. Dave Benison from Historical Niagara passed away. He was such a supporter and enthusiast. So I want to just say he will be dearly missed. And for those of you who are interested, there's going to be a celebration of life. It's going to be on Sunday, October 5th, 2025. It's going to be a walking celebration in, let's see, a provincial, Rock Point Provincial Park, and there will be a scattering of his ashes on that day as well. So anyone who would like to attend, if you want, you can just look up Historical Niagara on Facebook, and the details are there. A great loss for Niagara.
Thank you, Councillor. And Ricardo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing to add at this time. Thanks.
Thank you. Justin?
Nothing to add as well.
Thank you. All right, our next meeting will be held on October 28th at 10 in the morning as usual, and hybrid format as usual. We are aware that you might not be present for that, Win. So
For those who don't know, I'm having a baby. I might be busy, but I will try to make it. I'll let you guys know.
Okay. Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed for a very easy labor. And with nothing else on our agenda for today, this meeting is adjourned at 10:47. Thank you very much, everybody.